Guess what? Sometimes they will accept up to 49 years old. I have seen. However, when they go past 45 years old, then that's not what's recommended by the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. So I am interested in matching with this particular surrogate, but she is actually over 40 years old, and my doctor does not think that is very safe. Is that actually really risky? Yes and no. Stay tuned to find out. Welcome to Let's Just Sarah. This is Melissa, Tara's mom. You're going to be able to find this video in our playlist, IVF, Infertility, and Surrogacy. You're going to find a link to that playlist in the description below. And so besides any possible risks for getting a surrogate over 40 years old, are there actually any benefits? There are many benefits to it. Disclaimer. This vlog is only for entertainment purposes only. No professional advice is provided. No fertility professional advice. No legal professional advice. No financial professional advice. No mental health professional advice. One thing that's very important though, you need to stay every second throughout the video, because if you don't, you're gonna be missing some very important and crucial information. But really quick, my name is Melissa Lymangrover and I am a surrogacy consultant for Integrative Surrogacy. My opinions are only and solely mine and not necessarily the opinions that the agency, Integrative Agency, actually has. I do not recruit intended parents. I do help recruit and consult potential surrogates. But if I happen to have a conversation with an intended parent over Messenger or over email, if the conversation merits it, I may be able to provide the agency that I consult for as a recommendation if that is okay with you. If you're a potential surrogate and are interested in becoming a surrogate, don't forget to read the description below. It has all the qualifications and requirements. If you do believe that you meet all of them, forget to send me an email right here. You can also go straight to the application at integrativesurrogacy.com. Then immediately after that, I'm going to need you to message me and let me know that you finished your application so I can help expedite the process of it. Don't forget to add my name as a referral in the beginning of the application, Melissa Lymangrover. I will also be here for you if you have any questions. If there's a question that I cannot answer, I will redirect you to the owner of the agency. Even though we accept up to 41 for surrogates, if you are an experienced surrogate, we will welcome you, if everything looks good in your application, for up to 45 years old. So intended parents and surrogates, I want to let you know that the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, also known as ASRM, recommends that surrogates can be actually up to 45 years old. However, due to some reproductive endocrinologists' personal preferences, they may only accept up to 40 or 41 years old. Sometimes, even though they don't publish this through their clinic paperwork, they will accept experienced surrogates up to 45 or maybe 42 years old. Guess what? Sometimes they will accept up to 49 years old. I have seen. However, when they go past 45 years old, then that's not what's recommended by the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. It all comes down to the past health history in general and past health history when it comes to pregnancies, and if they have any past surrogacy experience, that past history also counts very much as well. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but I am going to tell you that there have been surrogates that are over 40 years old that have absolutely had perfect pregnancies. Not one single high blood pressure reading, not one single low iron reading, not one single low vitamin D reading. They have had natural deliveries that are full term as well. So it really all depends their body's genetical and health predisposition. They have had really good health histories. Whereas sometimes certain misconceptions lead intended parents to seek for much younger surrogates, when sometimes, and this is not me trying to go against younger surrogates. It's totally fine if you want to go with a younger surrogate, but in many cases, if you actually have paid attention, online groups or transfer groups, etc., there have been many young surrogates that have had a lot of problems with anemia, preeclampsia, placental abruption, preterm labor, a lot of C-sections. I know there's like a max of 3 sections, but maybe they had already 3 C-sections. They developed gestational diabetes. They have had to be put on bed rest. And not everything again, but some of these things are due to the lifestyle that they had prior to the pregnancy. For example, a diet that was extremely high in sugar, also a lifestyle that included a lot of drinking and smoking, and a lot of younger surrogates. I am not going to judge, but sometimes, they do not have the level of responsibility and judgment that an older potential surrogate has. And sometimes they may withhold some information that you will later on see reflected during the surrogacy pregnancy. Sometimes they might make some poor decisions that will affect that pregnancy in many ways. So this is why when intended parents get older surrogates, they feel more at ease with the decisions that surrogate will make, because they're more mature, they're experienced, and they know what consequences all those things they have been educated with may lead to. Those benefits of getting an older surrogate may come with a little something behind. Yes, they might be a little strict when it comes to embryo quality and time holds between embryo transfers. And why that is because of their past experience, especially if they were experienced surrogates. They know how their body responds, and sometimes they do understand, based on their education and experience in surrogacy, that normal tested embryos and highly graded embryos have the bigger chances in surrogacy success. And it's not like they want to underestimate the possible success that lower quality embryos, whether they are euploids or mosaics, may have when it comes to success. It's not that they're trying to underestimate them. It's just their personal preference. Why? Because they understand that even if you do get or have perfect embryos that are normal tested and highly graded, there is still only a 50% chance. And this is why many fertility lawyers will recommend surrogates to make sure they get an intended parent that has at least enough embryos for 3 transfer, meaning minimum of 3 embryos. Now, younger surrogates have a little more time ahead, and they don't mind going through all these failed transfers and then having to rematch and then waiting a long time for having more embryos made. On the other hand, the older surrogates, a lot of them with all the education and experience that they have, sometimes they will require a holding fee if there is no medical reason related to the surrogate that will put a hold in between transfers. If there was an embryo transfer that failed, then they will make sure that the next cycle that they will be on will be the one where there will be another try. Now, if the intended parent wants to have a hold because either they want to make more embryos or because of personal reasons, sickness or seasonal skepticism or any other reasons, then that surrogate may demand through the contract that she gets a holding fee separate from the allowance. Why? Because the surrogate has been putting a hold in her life. She has a life of her own too. And it's nothing against the intended parents, but the intended parents also have to be understanding of her life, that she has a life as well. And yes, she's voluntarily giving up her time for this, but they have to understand also that her time is precious as well, and her time counts as well, just as your personal events do. And this is one way for them to protect themselves. We have to remember that a reproductive endocrinologist does not allow a transfer to happen unless that surrogate's uterus is in perfect and optimal conditions. So if you get an experienced surrogate and there was a failed transfer, or a regular surrogate and there was a failed transfer, don't blame her unless you have proof that she did something wrong. Now, if you are particularly interested in matching with a surrogate that is actually older, and she's a first-time surrogate, or maybe an older surrogate that is an experienced surrogate, and you feel restricted or uncomfortable with the values of a certain fertility clinic because they are very strict as far as age goes, don't be afraid to transfer those embryos to another fertility clinic where they will be more flexible as far as age goes, because you have to remember that the American Society for Reproductive Medicine still recommends surrogates can be up to 45 years old. However, you make a decision, you're responsible for it. I'm not telling you what to do because I cannot give you legal advice. You would have to consult that with your fertility lawyer. Ultimately, what you do and any consequences that may arise from it are your responsibility. If you found this video interesting, valuable, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get more videos. Share with your peers, share with anybody that you think this video might be very useful. Thank you so much. See you next time.